Okay, right after the fucking news
Again, there is
broke.
no pedestrian traffic here. People were moving
Police
through
are
freely.
now moving towards the campus. All right, going back to student radio.
Public safety officers telling us to leave, but there is a flood of police in riot gear ostensibly trying to come in. People are booing on the street. They're not moving very far in. Sarah, I'll pass it to you.
Yeah, does anyone else have an update?
Hi, wait, yes, can I please, sorry, I forgot to unmute, a bit chaotic right now, but yes, okay, so there is a group of SRG officers in mass, in riot gear. They are walking towards me and Sawyer right now. Okay, can everybody in the studio please be quiet, because this is kind of a high stress situation. So Sawyer and I are walking face towards this group of SRG officers. They are walking up, I don't know what this street would be called. They're walking kind of parallel to Alfred Lerner.
SRG Strategic Response Group.
In between Alfred Lerner and Butler. I'm going to keep on the line to kind of track where they're going. The public safety officer, okay, they are diverging right now. Some of them are going in front of Butler. Some of them are going parallel to the West Lawn encampment. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. They are all going towards
Just kidding.
Parallel to Butler. That is on one of the circumferences of the West Lawn. I'm just kidding. Once again, they are reforming. Sorry if this if I'm a little bit chaotic. They're starting to run. I'm going to go off the air now. Unless Sora, you want to make another comment?
Yeah, can I jump in real quick here? From our vantage point on West 114th Street, Natalie and I can confirm
sorry,
that police...
Ben, I gotta interrupt. I'm right here as a large group is walking by. They've split. I am seeing officials from all guards, and this is. I have Leon here with an update too.
So half of them, I'd say, are going towards low stuff. Facing on the left side.
I'm gonna interrupt real quick. Yeah, we got a large mass coming. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna interrupt real quick. We got a large mass of police officers coming into campus again. A lot of them in riot gear. I would say in the 40s or 50s right now, walking down Butler again. Butler barricaded down. There's a public safety officer within Butler looking at the police officers moving in. They're turning left towards Hamilton Hall again, where it is occupied. We have a large congregation of police officers, 40 or 50. Okay, we have another group.
If I can interrupt you, Georgia and I do have a vantage point here. It does seem that the NYPD is headed directly toward Hamilton Hall. They're rounding the corner here at Butler, and I see a mass of students running away. It seems they're trying to get out of the way of
David, I'm so sorry. I really need to interrupt you. We have a really good vantage point here from Butler Library.
Go for it.
We can see different cohorts of NYPD officers. One is going across Butler lawns towards Hamilton Hall. The other one is going past Alfred Lerner Hall and around the lawns. They are currently encircling the east and west lawns right now. Students are running away in fear. I want someone on the Hamilton side of this to provide their perspective, but go ahead.
I can speak to that here. We have a large group of people shouting shame at the NYPD officers. I'm gonna.
I love them.
The fact that a lot of the spectators
I fucking
are
love
also
them. They're
choosing to remain
amazing.
outside as they approach. It appears, from what I can tell, that
they're fucking amazing.
Still where they are at this sort of like intersection where they would turn to get closer to Hamilton. I don't know if you have a better viewpoint on that, McKenna. If you want to speak to that. It appears
I want to get my news coverage from them on them only.
Can you speak to that?
I can't exactly see if they're advancing from where they were, but it does appear that, okay, now there's a group of NYPD officers marching down and converging in the middle. They are moving towards the West Lawn encampment. It seems, wow, I have never seen this many NYPD officers.
Another group here moving north. Near Hamilton Hall, it seems that they're stopping at the east lawn, although I can't tell what they're doing. Students are still dispersing and trying to get out of the way, but they're definitely getting a lot closer to Hamilton Hall.
I want to emphasize that the students outside of the Hamilton Hall are still singing very loudly the song that we heard before, "Your people are my people." They are singing this loudly. more loud than they have before in anticipation. Go.
Okay,
to add to
I'm
that,
sorry.
Georgia, the human barricade is still going too here at Hamilton Hall. Sorry, Sarah.
Yes. No, you're all good, David. I'm sorry. I know that I'm sorry to our listeners. I'm sorry that we keep interrupting each other. But this is a difficult thing to coordinate. I just want to announce that the SRG officers have formed. They are now officially circumferenced the entire West Lawn encampment. I did notice many of them. I would say maybe 2/3 are in fact carrying their batons. And so once again, and also I can see that their body cameras are flashing, which I would think means that their body cameras are on. Yeah, so like I said,
There's a group advancing north here near Hamilton Hall. They're about to reach the southwestern corner of Hamilton Hall, and students are moving out of the way now.
Okay, great updates from our field team. We really appreciate all that you guys are doing, and I know there's a lot of emergency situations going on right now. So again, large police presence on campus. It appears they are not only just at Hamilton Hall, but also surrounding the West Lawn. Georgia, can you give an update?
Yeah, so they were walking north along the sort of, again, these are just paths on campus. They were just walking north along the sort of west facade of Hamilton Hall. A lot of people here were expecting them to turn to then come onto the south facade of Hamilton. Right now, it seems like they're just kind of confused. Their commander, or whatever the word is telling them to turn around, stop. We're currently being ordered as press and those like sort of approaching them to get back. So that is what I'm going to do. But it seems actually now that they're just kind of continuing to form this circle around now the East Lawn, perhaps. It's really confusing. They are now sort of spread out more than they were in a bunch before. Hi, David. David's with me now. So we're going to monitor this, but honestly, just a little bit confused about what's going on.
Yeah, no worries. And also, can I get an update on whether or not there are still bystanders, normal Columbia students out on the lawns with this police presence?
Totally, yeah. A lot of people, and more than we've seen probably all night. I think even more people came out of their dorms tonight to see what's going on, despite the shelter-in-place advisory from the university.
I actually have a different response. By the West Lawn, there's really not that many spectators. Most people here are press, and that seems to be rough about it.
NYPD is marching. Also, NYPD is marching out to Hamilton Hall.
Okay.
Yeah, David. David, go ahead.
Yeah, let David.
David and I are moving away. We're turning
toward Hamilton Hall. NYPD is now marching toward the southern side of Hamilton Hall. The student press has scattered and gone out of the way. They are rapidly approaching the human wall. They seem slowly marching.
Who do you think is threatening students,
Chat? A good 20 to 30, maybe 40 to 50 NYPD officers in riot gear are now telling other people to also disperse.
Who do you
move
think
out
is
of the
threatening
way.
students, Chad?
Of course, if we are instructed to do so, we will comply. But it seems that they are rapidly coming to the entrance of Hamilton Hall here.
Who do you
Great,
think
thank you, David.
is
We'll
a bigger
keep posted
threat?
on the Hamilton Hall situation. Does anyone else have an update for the rest of campus?
Where do you think the real threat resides? Where do you think the real threat's coming from? Huh? You think it's coming from Hind Hall? You think it's coming from other students protesting against the genocide? Or do you think it's coming from the fucking jackbooted thugs of the state? This is National SJP's own coverage directly outside of Hind Hall. If you're just now tuning in, the NYPD is storming Columbia campus at 6 p.m. Pacific time. The Columbia University, without authorization from the faculty, against the wishes of the faculty and against the wishes of the students, decided to allow the police to go back onto campus. Students, as of yesterday, that were a part of the pro-Palestinian encampment took over Hamilton Hall and renamed it Hind Hall, just like they had done in 1968 in the anti-Vietnam War protests, something that is a deep mark of shame on Columbia University's history and proud tradition of being on the right side of history, with the exception of 1968, of course. They did this in 1985 during the anti-apartheid protests against South Africa as well. They took over the Hamilton Plaza And as of 6 p.m. Pacific time, the university has sicked the rabid dogs of the state, the jackbooted thugs. The SRG Strategic Response Group is there. And their goal is to arrest these students. Yeah, here's... I can't imagine watching this and saying that this is an appropriate response to the protest. Brother, for the past week, even before it got to this point, you understand that that is precisely what everyone has been demanding, right? Everyone on mainstream media, everyone over the age of like 40, 50, anyone in any kind of proximity to power has been demanding that the police come in and Kent State these fucking students. And they couldn't get they could not develop enough propaganda to justify taking militant action such as this. And then they could not figure out how to justify doing this. They lied about it anyway. They said that these students were being anti-Semitic. They said that these students were terrifying the Zionist students, okay? And there was no real evidence whatsoever, and they went ahead and did it anyway. Not only did they, not only
yes, this is Sarah again. So, I have a camera with me, and I was trying
not only
it's virtually possible now, because
did they
NYPD officers stationed absolutely everywhere.
tell the police to go in and storm the fucking campus, they also went ahead and arbitrarily suspended Columbia University students. There are reports from Columbia University students of having been suspended when they were in class. They weren't even at the encampment for a pro-Palestinian sentiment that they've demonstrated.
Yeah, so sorry to interject, Sarah. We're being moved here in Hamilton, or near Hamilton, even further south. We're being told to continue to clear out and move out, at least as spectators. So the NYPD is making quite a large perimeter around Hamilton Hall, it seems. We're now pushed fully almost to the entrance of Wallach. Most of us are crowded around John Jay at this point. If they push us any further, I'm not really sure where we're expected to go, since, of course, these shelter-in-place orders may not necessarily be followed through by public safety officials inside of the dorms.
And if I may, just for a second, also add that the student barricade that was human barricade that was formed outside of Hamilton Hall is still there. They did not move. They are currently standing arm in arm along the facade of Hamilton, waving a Palestinian flag. And now we're being moved back. Okay.
Once again, thank you for your updates, field team. Yeah, go ahead, McKenna.
Can I jump in? Thank you. I just wanted to know, as Ian and I are standing at one of these pillars in front of Butler Library, we have a really good vantage point of both of the lawns. As Sarah was alluding to earlier, they have NYPD officers stationed at pretty much every entrance, every corner of every lawn on Lower Campus right now. This is incredibly contrasting to the initial arrest that we saw on April 18th, when there were thousands and thousands of Columbia students witnessing the arrest taking place. Now it seems that the number of NYPD officers far outnumbers the number of protesters that we have here on campus today.
Don't you think sometimes students in the USA take extreme measures? They don't have a clear idea what the situation on the ground level with Gaza?
There's no email before the arrest. I know we...
Can you explain to me exactly what's going on? Don't you think? Wait, Gaza, a UN ground support crew member? Are you actually telling me that you are going to sit here and LARP as a fucking on the ground UN ground support crew member and tell me that like the student protesters are actually in the wrong because the situation on the ground in Gaza is actually good? Are you on fucking crack? There is no fucking way this person is actually a UN person, right? Brother, if you were actually on the ground in Gaza right now, I think you would recognize that the situation that's unfolding in front of you is completely unjustifiable, but only on the police presence. It's perfectly valid to protest what the fuck Israel's been doing in Gaza.
And we asked, well, where do we go? And he just said, oh, I don't know. And then turned away. So we actually don't know where to go. What's happening? They're locking the gates. And now they're locking the gates. Oh, this is okay. They're locking the gates.
They're locking the gates
between Butler and John Jay. This is basically the only exit we would have out at this point if we were not going.
Bro thought he was cooking. He was just cooking
thank
crack.
You for that update.
Where do we go? Sorry, guys. I'm gonna mute myself. You can go.
Okay, Georgia, please stay safe. And David, yeah, we're gonna definitely keep an eye out to make sure that David and Georgia are safe. That's our first priority here at WKCR, is making sure that all of our correspondents are safe.
I'm sorry to interrupt you again, Sarah. I do want to point out that NYPD is now barricading John Jay residents inside of John Jay, while also telling us to get out of the vicinity or go inside. Frankly, I'm not sure how we're supposed to comply with these directions since we can't go inside and we cannot exit as the gate is now sort of closed off to our left. I think they might just keep us here on the southern end of this little lawn outside of Hamilton Hall.
Okay, I'm gonna...
sorry, Macy, I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, sorry, we have a bit of an urgent...
That's
the SRG ramp.
NYPD entering the lawns from the south.
That's an MRAP that has a ramp on it. And they're using that ramp specifically to fucking get up to the second floor and third floors.
To look intense now. I don't know
higher levels that probably weren't barricaded.
We have a bit of an urgent update. I'm going to have to send it over to Ben. Ben, can you hear me? Okay, I will just phrase what Ben said.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. We are now being escorted off of the premises, both press, spectators, anyone else. Frankly, no one here is left to document whatever might go down at Hamilton Hall, as we are now being told to leave the premises. No one is outside. Everyone is barricaded inside of their dorms here in the lawn outside of Hamilton Hall. We're now being escorted off the premises by NYPD. I'm not sure where they're going to put us, but I don't think we have any reporters anymore that are outside of Hamilton Hall.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate that the amount of people I see around me right now with student press on their backs or on stickers of whatever kind.
Message here.
In the crowd here was saying, who is going to
You're heading out to 114th and Broadway, is that right?
Anyone else? Frankly, no one here is left to document whatever might.
I'm heading towards those gates. They're opening the gates now for us all to leave.
Why are they kicking out the press? Why are they kicking out the press? Why are they kicking out the press, you think?
Okay. And as far as you can see, Julia, at Hamilton Hall, I don't know if you can still see Hamilton Hall. Is there any movement over there, or you can't see anymore?
I'll show you what's happening from Hamilton Hall now. You see those officers coming out on the left side of the screen. They're coming from the direction of Hamilton Hall.
Okay.
Right behind these bleachers here, that's where Hamilton Hall is. Right there, that building up there, that's Hamilton Hall. We can't see it anymore. And police is just pushing us out.
Okay. Julia, remarkable work. I really appreciate it. We'll check in with you momentarily as soon as you get situated. Shimon Prokupez. Shimon, where are you? And what are you seeing?
So we're on 114th Street. We're just, the NYPD has put us all in an area here in expectation that we will see some people leaving. We're here on 114th Street, just outside the gates here in the front, and we're just waiting to see if anyone comes out. We have seen we have seen heavily armed officers in some big trucks arriving here, which is pretty significant. And right now, much of the law enforcement is just standing around and as
Instagram.
some of the students who live in the dorms here,
Instagram studio,
are just standing
Instagram video is
around.
down.
Shimon, let me ask you, we're looking at a shot from Spectrum News, New York 1, of officers, it looks like gaining entrance to a building on some sort of a crane or looking into a window.
They better not break that window, dude. You can't be doing more crimes to stop the crime to begin with, right? Remember, chat. Remember, these fascist fucking assholes are there because windows were broken. So why are they further breaking the windows? If property damage is what they are trying to avoid, why are they fucking doing property damage? Oh, there it is. That's a window broken. Oh no. I guess it's time to send in the fucking National Guard to arrest these cops too. Remember, that's what they tried to make this about. The reason for this level of fucking militant police presence is because, you know, they broke windows. Just so you understand, this is all fucking bullshit and has nothing to do with the broken windows at fucking Hamilton Hall, and everything to do with beating the shit out of those who dare fucking criticize Israel's genocide. Okay? Understand that.
To this building where several
Does anyone
of
look
the
hurt? Can you tell if
protesters
students are hurt?
broke in early this morning.
So is that the...
Students outside. They have a lot of discussion. They're going to go. I'm sorry. Why they're pushing students? It's aggressive.
Okay, so I'm going to keep you guys muted for now. Please text your updates just because the audio is a little bit hard to hear since it's so loud, but we are hearing that students are being pushed. I'm going to send it over to Ale for an update on Hamilton Hall.
Thanks, Macy. Sorry about that. Again, we'll text updates as we have them, but we have received video evidence of a police contraption currently on 116th in Amsterdam that has a ladder ramp-looking thing that police are using to square up right to the third floor of Hamilton. It is believed that they will start entering there. We have a source stationed at the corner of 116th and Amsterdam sending video evidence. I will continue to report as we see whether police make that their entry point as well.
And once again, we did have reports that there were sledgehammers at the front doors of Hamilton Hall. So it is not just the windows that they are entering through. They are also trying to disband the barricades at Hamilton Hall.
Shields
Georgia,
against students, riot shields against peaceful demonstrators. Okay, it is fucking insane, completely hypocritical.
We can't move. We're basically on the corner of 114. It's really
okay, Sawyer.
It's really unclear.
Sawyer, I see
I'm just gonna let it go over to people who are on the scene right now.
Yeah, Sawyer, I see you're close by. Can you give us an update if possible?
Yeah, they just the SWAT the NYPD team that were at the Pollock Rock entrance to Hamilton Hall has just entered through the doors. We can't tell where they're going now.
They
But there's a
pushed
bit of a
all of the
commotion, and
journalists
they have
away
entered the doors.
from the main hall area, the entry point, the main entry point.
Just to confirm that police have entered the front doors of Hamilton Hall. Once again, they had sledgehammers, riot gear. So that is very important.
So the only thing we can hear is
and I'm going to hand it over to Teddy really quick.
Talking about what's going on.
I was able to receive video from someone who has a vantage point from Hartley looking onto Hamilton. SWAT has completely cleared out all protesters from the front of Hamilton. I want to repeat, all protesters have been cleared from the front by SWAT quite swiftly, and they are now breaking into the front as well as going in from the windows, as we reported before. They are completely flooding the building from all sides.
Yep, thank you, Teddy, for that. I just want to ask, McKenna, do you have a good vantage point? Can you report anything for right now?
When they did a B&E, it elicits a police response. Yeah, shut
thank
the
you,
fuck
Macy.
up,
I'm
dumbass.
here with Leon, Casey, and Ian right now.
Yeah, they did a B&E. That's why we need to fucking kill them. That's why we need like every fucking tactical dipshit in a fucking 50-mile radius to utilize millions and millions of dollars of resources. Look at these fucking fascist thugs, dude. Imagine being this much of a fucking bootlicker. Oh no, they broke the windows. Look at what they're doing. Do you know how much property damage is going to happen as a consequence of this? Do you understand? Do you know how much fucking money they're using? Think about that. How much overtime is being paid right now, the only reason why you see these fucking piggies be so goddamn brave is because they know without a shred of doubt that none of those students are actually a real threat. That's why they're fucking so militant. That's why they're so organized. You are an asshole. Yes, what do they have? Go to Gaza. Go to Gaza. What do they have to do to get these people out? You're an idiot and you should go to Gaza and stay there. Yeah, let me go to Gaza so you can fucking do a genocide to me. Thanks, chatter. Go to Gaza. See how badly we are genociding Gaza. Maybe you can die in the genocide. Are those guns drawn? I can't see from this photo. I'm sure they'll just fucking simply tear gas the entire building.
So I worry about the health and safety of the students and of the police, too.
Hey, Judge Scheinlin, when you were on campus as a student back then, I mean, and it was anti-war demonstrations, was there this pitting of students
I don't think they'll
against
use
each other,
guns.
which is what we have been seeing, you know, this animosity of how, you know, Jewish students have been treated and others?
No, I don't think there was. I think there were activists and less activists. And the less activists simply stayed away from the protesters. But I don't think there was that internal dissent that you're seeing now, which is so pronounced.
Was there widespread support on campus in '68 for the protests?
I think there was more widespread support than there is now. Now it's a very different situation. It's very polarizing,
No, it's not.
As you can imagine, given the context of these protests.
Yeah, totally. Everyone loves
From
Israel.
114th in Amsterdam. There's like 10 of them on the ladder right now and more awaiting. That's what I can see right now.
Thank you, Georgia. Sawyer, I'm going to hand it over to you. You said there was an arrest you could see.
Yes, we saw at least one arrested individual come out of Hamilton Hall. Again, I'm still trying to get a vantage point because NYPD has blocked all of the access points to Hamilton Hall. However, I'm seeing actually another. So they are taking arrested individuals from Hamilton Hall, and it seems like they are going towards the 114th John.
Thank you, Sawyer. So I'm getting reports from Teddy now that there may be an unconscious student in front of Hamilton. Do you have any further confirmation of that, Teddy?
Yeah, I have a video from someone in Hartley looking down onto Hamilton, and yes, there's an unconscious student on the ground. They have removed most of the debris, furniture on the side, and there's an unconscious student on the side on the ground in front of Hamilton.
Over half of the student body participated in the election.
Thank you, Teddy, for that. So once again, we don't know what caused that necessarily. It could have been the police, but we can't confirm it right now. We have also heard that there is tear gas based on what our reporters can smell. It's unclear if that is just inside Hamilton Hall or if that is outside as well. McKenna, do you have a vantage point?
They're going in with chainsaws?
Thank you, Macy. I don't have a vantage point of Hamilton Hall right now. I'm currently standing with a bunch of other student reporters, as well as some administrators from the journalism school outside of Pulitzer Hall. We, as Ian mentioned, we were told several times by NYPD officers to enter a building if we were students. However, there are no buildings for us to enter at all. I think we may have access as student press into Pulitzer, but I cannot confirm that entirely. But we can see some NYPD officers moving up the middle from north on campus. Right now it's incredibly difficult to see. Our access and our mobility is incredibly limited right now.
Great, thank you. Once again, I need to state that we do have a live stream going of our coverage on WKCR_ on campus. Once again, that is WKCR_ on campus, and that is because we are having difficulties with our online stream. I just wanted to pass it over to Sarah now.
Where is that?
There are a
Unfortunately, we can't hear you. If you could maybe...
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was moving. There are a lot of SRG officers right now reporting to Hamilton Hall. I believe most of the SRG officers that were formerly circumferencing West Lawn have now reported to the front of West Lawn Hall. Again, it's hard to say because the vantage points here are not great. Yes, as Teddy's saying, in front of Hamilton. There also is just kind of a new wave that we did not previously see. I also received a tip from a source who is on 114th right now that there are more correction buses pulling up. That's my update. Thank you, Macy.
Yes, and we now have a confirmation that there is a fire alarm going off in Hamilton Hall. We are not sure of the cause of that. But yeah, we're also getting pictures of the ladder that police are climbing up to get into the windows of Hamilton. Does anyone else have an update on the ground? Ian, Georgia?
Yeah, I'll go real quick update. Anyone who wants to butt in, they obviously can. I just want to say lots of NYP surrounding the West Lawn. They already went through and pretty much cleared it. As we kind of noticed, we could not see or confirm any arrests being made. As I noted before, police even came on campus. There was virtually no one in the encampment at all. In fact, I think most were stationed either at the Hartley campsite there or at Hamilton Hall. So I see now that there's just a lot of police officers guarding the West Lawn as it stands. Thank you.
Everybody was...
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Sawyer, I'm going to turn to you if you have any updates. All right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. There are a number of arrested individuals now coming
Do you
down.
think these actions and motives are worth
what
risking
appears
your
to be
academic
from
life for?
Hamilton to around Butler near the John Day gate.
I don't think there should be a fucking risk.
3 or 4 that I saw previously.
You're asking
and
the
now
wrong
there
question.
Seems to be at least 6 at a time. There
should not be a risk at all in this circumstance to say the right fucking thing. I don't understand why you're being fucking, why you're promoting selfishness as a virtue
point,
here.
Can you attest to if there are still bystanders, if anyone that is not involved with the protest has gotten in the way or been hurt?
Here.
I'm still outside campus. So far, I can't see any escalation that's taken place out here, specifically where I am at 114th and Broadway. From what I can see, there are people leaving campus. Are they? Okay. So David has a vantage point from his camera. People are being or exiting campus in the sort of zip tie handcuffs here. We're seeing a few of them here. I can recognize these people from the barricade. These are individuals who are in front, part of the human barricade outside of Hamilton Hall. They have been escorted here by the police, it seems, outside of campus.
They're arresting
I'm unsure why
students.
they've just brought them to the end of the barricade here at the street. I'm a little bit confused, but they might be being invited to exit. I'm unsure, but I'll update you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to send it over to Sarah if you have an update, Sarah.
You see, I'm trying to get out of the noise. I'm sorry.
Which are you?
I'm sorry, hold on. Yes, I'm sorry, I had to get out of the noise. Yeah, there are arresting a lot of students. I know that previously we were pretty much unsure of how many students were in Hamilton Hall. I believe now we've maybe seen 20 arrests. I would also like to note that I did see one student being dragged. The student did look very limp. I'm not sure if that was a form of resistance or if that was the student who had passed out. But yeah, the student looked limp. That's all I wanted to note. But that's also speculation that could have been the student with the medical emergency. All right, Macy, back to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I just wanted to reiterate, too, that we now have a live stream on our account, WKCR_ on campus on Instagram. If the stream online is not working for you, please tune into our live stream, WKCR_ on campus, to continue our coverage, or tune in on an FM signal.
This is why.
I wanted to ask McKenna, do you have any updates for us?
For the record, this is why they made sure to pack up the media and move them around. Just so you know. They moved the media away from the courtyard, specifically so they moved the media away from the courtyard, specifically so they could start packing up the students and violently brutalizing them without actual footage coming out of it. Except the difference is, in this day and age in 2024, even if you turn off your fucking body camera and you brutalize a student in the middle of a fucking college campus, there's going to be 7,000 different cameras directly on you. Everybody has phones, dumb fuck. The problem, however, is that the media is also complicit in the suppression of this kind of footage coming out. The media voluntarily will suppress this information, just like many in the media, mainstream media, for the past week or so, has been demanding that this kind of action be taken instantly. This is exactly what the fuck CNN, MSNBC, Morning Joe, liberals, reactionary fascists alike have been fucking demanding. They're getting exactly what they wanted. Adam Schiff asked for this. 26 Democrats asked for this. 26 Democrats personally asked for this to happen. Liberals will turn around and offer some sympathy. Fox News will go and say they get what they deserved. Bill Maher will say that they're narcissistic. Make no mistake. All of this could have easily been avoided with the university doing what doing what Brown did, which is meet the demands of the student protesters. But of course, they did not want to do that. They were far too invested in maintaining their big donors. And in an effort to do so, in an effort to ensure that Robert Kraft isn't fucking upset with the university, they listened to the demands of Robert Kraft in between his rub and tug sessions and sick the rabid dogs of the state on the students. So tell me who fucking terrorized this college campus tonight? Was it the actual pro-Palestinian students themselves, many of which are Jewish too? Or was it the motherfucking NYPD? The answer is simple. Who do you think is a bigger threat to the student population here? This won't stop the encampment and it won't stop the protest. It will only solidify the organizers' support and give them good reason to take more precaution to defend it next time. Oh, 100%. 100%. Twitter took all things Columbia protest related off the trending. I doubt it. Incredible sights, dude. And then liberals talk about Tiananmen Square.
Police are entering the John Jay Gates. So just something to pin if someone can. Okay. Yeah. David has a vantage point here that he can see lots and lots of NYPD entering campus there at John Jay Gates.
Okay, I'm just going to jump on really quick. This is a very important piece of information to know. From our estimates, there were anywhere between 20 and 50 protesters that were inside Hamilton Hall.
Bro,
we
what
still
is
don't have a
happening?
confirmation number on that, but just to scale for our listeners, the difference between the amount of protesters in Hamilton Hall and the police response we are seeing tonight. This is the most police response we have ever seen on campus. It is nowhere near what we saw during the first arrests. And it appears that people are being caught up in this that are not necessarily protesters. So once again, we'll keep our eyes on that. We have reporters still in the field. But I'll keep you all posted. It just was important to know again that there were between 20 and 50 protesters inside Hamilton.
Eric Adams said they were awaiting requests from Columbia admin to intervene,
which is completely disproportionate
as
to
far
the
as
police
I know, they were
response
not
we are seeing
requested. You're
tonight.
wrong.
Does anyone
They
on
were.
the field have an update?
Columbia University gave them the go-ahead at 6 p.m. Pacific time, according to ABC News. We broke it here as well. They piled up around Columbia. They blockaded all the fucking streets surrounding Columbia University. And then at 6 p.m. Pacific time, the university administration, without getting any additional without getting any kind of confirmation from anyone else, no faculty, turned around,
to determine
and
the
sent
best
the
plan to
sent
protect
the
our students
police.
and the entire Columbia community. We made the decision early in the morning that this was a law enforcement matter and that the NYPD were best positioned to determine and execute an appropriate response. We believe that the group that broke into and occupied the building is led by individuals who are not affiliated with the university. Sadly, this dangerous decision followed more than a week of what had been productive discussions with representatives of the West Lawn encampment. We severely curtailed the number of people on Morningside campus starting Tuesday morning. Over the course of the day, we updated our community on access to campus buildings and will continue to do so through the next few days. The decision to reach out to the NYPD was in response to the actions of the protesters, not the cause they are championing. We have made it clear that the life of campus cannot be endlessly interrupted by protesters who violate the rules and the law. Early Tuesday, protesters chose to escalate to an alarming and untenable situation, including by vandalizing property, breaking doors and windows, blockading entrances, and forcing our facilities and public safety workers out, and we are responding appropriately as we have long made clear we would. The safety of our community, especially our students, remains our top priority. And before we pass it over to the field again, in fact, unless someone has breaking news, I can do this analysis in a little bit, but 3 things stand out. First is that this language is verbatim lifted from Columbia's press briefing earlier, as well as the language they have been using consistently. The second is that...
I'm so sorry. I do need to interrupt. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
NYPD corrections bus that is coming down 114th and Broadway. And NYPD is now currently pulling students who are sitting on the ground here at 114th. And NYPD officers as well. They're pulling students off the ground quite violently, I will add. People are yelling to get their hands off of them, but it does appear that they moved the bus down here to possibly stop. Students are being dragged off the road here at 114th in Amsterdam. Now it is cleared, and it is unclear whether or not the bus will continue to go through the intersection here. Yeah.
Once again, we have confirmation that. Go ahead.
That's the update there. I'll let you add anything else. What I'm now seeing is some NYPD officers. There's about 10 of them. The street here. They're opening up the doors of the bus, the NYPD police bus. We're gonna know where this goes or what it ends up doing here. But I'll send it back to anyone else who has updates.
It's important to note again that the student body here at Columbia still has not received any other email aside from the shelter in place. There was no warning of NYPD coming onto campus, and despite shelter in place, we heard accounts of multiple students that were denied entry into buildings because they did not live there.
I'm sorry. I just want to confirm that bus was full of protesters. We saw them through the window, and they are driving the bus down in Amsterdam. Sorry to interrupt there, but that is the update. It was full of arrested protesters.
Thank you for that confirmation, Georgia. We appreciate it. Does anyone else on the field have any breaking updates?
They stopped here. They were on the street, on the ground, Anderson, locking arms again, trying to show
they're trying to stop
that
the
they
buses.
will not leave, but there's only so much that you can do against the NYPD.
So they've now been pushed off the street. You're at 114th in Amsterdam, I can see. So they were pushed off. Interesting that they were not arrested and still haven't been arrested.
No.
Bro, he's so horny. He's like, why aren't they arrested? Arrest them too.
With everyone else. So myself, hundreds of other students that were pushed out off campus. We're here on 114th in Amsterdam. I can't go back inside. A lot of people can't go back. 114th is completely closed off.
Yeah, Columbia University is saying that
traffic. We just saw a father with
students
his
that broke in are not affiliated with the university.
Trying to get home Eventually, police let him go through, but it's a nightmare for anyone who lives here on the Upper West Side. There's lots of people trying to get from one side to the other. Absolutely impossible. Now, we've been pushed on to Amsterdam. I think that he will eventually get back into campus. I'm at the Graduate School of Journalism, and we were told that we would have access back to campus. I'm out here, Anderson, with just my phone, AirPods, and a battery pack. So I don't know how long we'll actually last. All of our things are inside. All of our belongings are inside. We didn't plan to be kicked out. We were told that we would have guaranteed entry, especially media. Students of this would be able to go back and forth from campus and out. NYPD saying absolutely not. There's no way that could happen. I don't understand why. I want to show you a little bit more of the action here. Can you get up here, Corinne, a bit and just show a little bit? Everything is stopped.
Oh, there's another.
And
Oh,
now
they
the
should.
protest has basically moved all to outside.
I think there was like 2 layers
And
of
everyone
door,
that was
right?
inside is now.
I'm getting videos from students inside. I'm getting videos from students on campus. From students affiliated with CUAD. They're compiling as much video footage as they possibly can and sending it over so we can take a look at it on stream. Yes, bro, I pulled up the fucking VLC because I don't know if you know this, but there's unfortunately not a lot of fucking on-the-ground reporting occurring as a consequence of the NYPD's brutal tactics of media suppression. They literally personally packed up the legal observers, the medics, all of the fucking student organizers, and everyone that's supposed to be there, specifically so that no one could witness the brutality.
But when they open the door. All right, they're all going in. Cops are going in. Oh my goodness, that's like 50 cops going in. Okay, maybe 20 so far.
Apparently, there are reports that a medic was being denied. Medic is being denied seeing an unconscious student barricaded in John Jay Hall. Here.
Why are you looking at me like that? Do you understand? You were probably sitting in that bus just chewing on your baton, right? Just waiting. Fucking swear to God, these assholes.
There's a student, there's an unconscious student barricaded in John Jay Hall.
This is actually literally a fucking mistake.
Seen from inside the tunnel, signs that there's sewage or tear gas-like smell emanating from Hamilton. Here's more video footage from a dorm room outside of Hamilton of the cops storming. Wait, did you say President called for the police to remain on campus until May 14th? No fucking way.
Flashlights into each room and they're cutting the banners down. Sorry, hearing that news about the police
After
on
locking
campus,
medics into John Jay,
was
NYPD
difficult to
at
hear,
Columbia
especially-
pushed 3 students down the stairs
Yeah,
and
it's
dragged
not
out
somebody
one
who
passed
looks
out
forward to
student.
having police on
They
campus
threw
until I
all items
graduated
down the
today,
stairs,
that's all.
endangering students, and pushed a
Yep,
group
so
of
once
5
again,
that were walking without
until
resisting
May
arrest.
17th, which is well past the current graduation date, that
after tonight, NYPD will be allowed to have permanent presence on Columbia's campus for the rest of the year.
NYPD permanent presence
Thankfully,
on
we
campus.
have some
Oh my
members of our
God.
news team back in the room here, and everyone is safe as far as we know. Does anyone on the field have any updates? Georgia, can I send it to you if you have a second?
Looks peaceful, bro. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, thank
It's so
you.
it's not peaceful.
Thank
You're
you.
right.
The only update we have here is only that
Only because of the fucking cops, dumb fuck. What do you mean looks peaceful? Yeah, it was peaceful. And then what happened? It's always peaceful until the fucking cops come. Always. God, the fucking police boot must taste good, dude.
Reporter David Gonzalez. That
NPC ass bitch. Martial law on fucking 18-year-olds protesting against the genocide. Suck my
or
dick.
actually, it could be passersby. We have no confirmation because again,
You
it
fucking
was pretty
freak.
chaotic. But being
Here's a video of the arrested students at Columbia.
Same protesters that were lying on the ground, sort of in the way of the
From the vantage point of John Jay, where students and press have been barricaded into the building.
dragging them away from the scene to clear the way for the
Thank you. I appreciate that, David. And once again, we still have field reporters out there bringing you live updates. You are listening to WKCR FM New York and WKCR HD. That is 89.9 on your dial. And WKCR.org.
At the admissions office entrance of Hamilton, officers pushed protesters to the ground and slammed them with the barricades. One protester lay on the ground, unmoving as police officers stood over them. Three officers then carried out the individual away from Hamilton. I think we saw that as well.
Maybe 40 minutes into 1 hour, we reported police coming onto campus, and we still have each corner pretty much, I guess, shoulder to shoulder with police officers around the east and west lawn. It stretches so long I can't really locate it here, and I think the sentiments of Sarah and Georgia kind of are ringing it in my brain right now as I see this spectacle here right now.
Yeah, this is what it looked like before the cops entered, by the
Appreciate
way.
it. And just to clarify, does anyone else, I see Sawyer, you have a view. Do you want to make an update?
Yeah,
Here's a
they
letter
are currently
asking
just
for
standing
NYPD
shoulder to shoulder
occupation.
as we said, around the perimeter of the lawn. We previously saw them looking within the lawn, flashing their flashlights into tent and looking in tent. However, it doesn't seem like there's an NYPD presence on the lawn, but I will update. Oh, actually, an update. The entrances to the lawns have been opened seemingly, which is a new development.
Thank you so much for that update, Sawyer. Once again, anyone can feel free to interrupt me at any time with urgent updates. I just wanted to update too, because we did have word that police were entering through the windows of Hamilton Hall from the Amsterdam and 116th side of Hamilton Hall. And we have received word that lights are on the top floor.
Did the students' occupation inside the building have a trigger of some sort, or did it just randomly happen after a while?
All of
Yeah,
the protesters from inside of Hamilton.
Yesterday, no, it was triggered by something. Yesterday, Columbia University, in the midst of the negotiations, the ongoing fake negotiations they were having with the fucking student encampments, decided to arbitrarily say, all right, no more negotiations, pack watch time. You guys are fucking done. If you're still here by this arbitrary time that we have designated, you're going to get fucking arrested and you're going to be suspended. Then they started suspending They started suspending students arbitrarily. Students that were in class, they weren't even at the fucking encampment, were suspected of harboring pro-Palestinian sentiment, and they got fucking suspended while they were in class. So knowing that, obviously, college students did exactly what they've done in the past as well. Specifically in 1968, they took over Hamilton Hall. They took over Hamilton Hall in an effort to defend themselves against the potential onslaught and to continue demonstrating. The irony, of course, is that despite the fact that these fucking dipshits came in with police brutality, it most likely will not stop students from protesting, even though you don't think these students deserve this for having an unorganized protest? Bro, you cannot be trying to debate me right now. You cannot try to debate me right now in the midst of all this with the dumbest fucking takes possible to run a 3-minute ad break at the top of the fucking hour. Here is some footage from inside the tunnels. They do have Hamas tunnels underneath the fucking Hamilton Hall as well, by the way. Ironic.
Okay, so the tunnels right now are kind of crowded. There's some people checking in here. The door to Hamilton remains locked, but if we go up these set of stairs out into the situation, this is the passageway between Hartley and Wallach, facing campus. It's already cleared out when we're facing Amsterdam on this side of the gate.
Where's the ACLU and all this? They're nowhere. There's nothing. There's no the National Guild of Lawyers is supposed to be there on scene as legal observers. You know what happened to them? The NYPD fucking packed them into to John Jay Hall. They kicked them out.
The air smells a little bit like natural gas, which isn't typical. There's a slight like rancid smell. That is the door to Hamilton. It's starting to smell.
Look at the way the media is covering it. Police breach occupied building at Columbia, remove students from campus. Democracy dies in the darkness, by the way. They're just removing students from campus. They're just moving them from point A to point B.
Quite bad in here, which isn't typical. So I'm guessing some tear gas is either leaking out from outside Hamilton or just leaking through.
Are you sure you should be showing these videos without screening them? They're showing people's faces. Brother, what the fuck are you talking about? It's literally CUAD sending me the videos. What do you mean? I am currently coordinating with the student demonstrators.
That passageway we just came from into here.
Huh. There's more. Radio show says the arrests seem to have stopped. Yeah, I think they probably breached it. They breached in
while the police were infiltrating Columbia. The second was from Public Affairs at 9:59 p.m. and attached there was a letter from President Shafiq to the NYPD. But once again, we have received no direct correspondence from the president. Ale, go ahead.
That is correct, Macy. And in fact, the most appalling, well, not the most appalling, that is a high bar tonight, but an incredibly appalling thing is that there have been absolutely no direct communications with the student body about these decisions. The letter requesting coverage by the letter requesting support by the NYPD until May 17th, which, as I said, is not only 2 days after university commencement, but 1 day after senior graduation. So that means keeping police presence on campus until all students are gone. That email did not only not go out to students, but for about 10 minutes was offline. Students were receiving messages that they were not authorized to act.
Dude, it's awesome. Seriously, though, like, come on. They did do illegal things. Like, civil disobedience is great and all, but that ain't very civil. Yeah, you're right, dude. It's actually way more dangerous to occupy a campus space as students. And certainly not an infinitely more dangerous precedent being set by the university for arbitrarily suspending students for potential pro-Palestinian sentiment, sending the fucking militant dogs to violently arrest them and apprehend them. You know, what's a better precedent Who is the power player here? Or do you just always capitulate the power unconditionally? Yes, Farley is barking at Murat. Man, think about the optics, I say, as I watch the Gestapo brutalize 18-year-old fucking anti-genocide protesters. Think of the optics. The pearls that I am clutching currently, you do not understand. Think of the optics as I watch fascist military psychopaths beat the shit out of students protesting against genocide, protesting against their participation, their unwilling participation in genocide. All right, bro, I appreciate the point. I just think there's a better way to go about it. Why don't you fucking do it then? But you don't want to do anything. That's the problem. You're just here to fucking chirp. You don't want to do shit. That's it. Bro, here's how you know this is dumb as fuck. Okay? People complained about the broken glass in order to enter Hamilton Hall. The cops broke a whole ass window and beat the shit out of students. Who's done more material harm to the university now? And it cost a couple million easy in overtime alone just to do that. Think, chatter, think. The university stopped the negotiations, arbitrarily started suspending students, and sicked the fucking rabid dogs of the state on these students for the crime of protesting against their unwilling participation in the Israeli apartheid and Israel's genocide. Okay, is this stream sponsored by Qatar? No, dickhead. This stream is sponsored by your mommy. Okay? That's right. I fuck her every night. And she loves it. And instead of spending it on you getting new chicken nuggets, she gives me the money. I'm your dad now. I'm your stepfather. Nay, the father that stepped up. And you got to cut it with this fucking arbitrary defense, like this reflexive defense of those in positions of power. Qatari Dancer, thank you for the 100 gifted subs. There you go. It is sponsored by Qatar.
I don't think I can say much more. I'm sorry.
Yep, thank you so much for that, Ian. We appreciate it, and we appreciate all the hard work that you have done
Just listen to the fucking
tonight.
students covering the issue. Just listen to the students. Listen to the students and how fucking terrified they were as the psychopathic pigs ran through and ransacked the halls. Who do you think they're more afraid of? Do you think they're more afraid of these psychopathic cops? Here's a video. Here's another video. Cop pointing a gun through the window. Cop pushing the barricades onto the protesters.
Get over there! Just walk around!
Who is more damaging to the institution, you think?
That paragraph now because it bears repeating. Quote, we called on NYPD to clear an encampment once, but we all share the view, based on discussions within our community and with outside experts, that to bring back the NYPD at this time would be counterproductive, further inflaming what is happening on campus and drawing thousands to our doorstep who would threaten our community. End quote. Now, I recognize the situation has changed. In fact, the occupation of Hamilton Hall is, of course, a pretty serious escalation of the situation on April 26th when this email was sent. But I cannot say that I expect anything less than what we saw after the previous arrests in terms of, and I quote, further inflaming what is happening on campus and drawing
Columbia
thousands
Rich Kid
to our
Theater.
doorstep who would threaten our community.
Dude, isn't it wonderful to always fucking act like an edgy piece of shit online? That way no one can know how pathetic of a little worm I am. You know what I mean? Rich Kid Theater, lol. People are being fucking brutalized by cops. But what are you doing? You're sitting in your fucking crusty ass underwear with shit stains on it, surrounded by Dorito crust, not a single fucking sentient being in sight for the past week. Haven't seen the goddamn daylight in months, talking about how fucking edgy and nihilistic you actually are, while people are getting fucking arrested. But guess what? Everybody thinks you're cool, dude. Oh my God, you're about to get your dick sucked digitally. Okay? Yeah, no, oh my God, people are immediately going to be like, dude, you are so sick. I cannot believe it. Your Discord server is going to go crazy, dude. The 45-year-old man in your Discord server LARPing as a Korean girl is really going to appreciate how fucking edgy and nihilistic you are because of how hard of a battle you fought on this day. They are literally going to be like, damn, Fee is good, brother. I would love to suck you. I would love to suck you, except I am a 45-year-old man living in Iowa LARPing as a little cutie pie Korean girlfriend for you. That is what you're fucking destined to, okay? Projecting? Really, dude? Projecting? Projecting? Do I strike you as that type? Projecting? Do you have eyeballs? Projecting my fucking ass. Nice try, though, dude. Hey, go back to your Discord server and draw me like a soy jack again, so maybe you can own me in the marketplace of ideas. You know what I mean? Projecting. Fucking losers.
Georgia, go ahead.
I do, yeah. Thank you, Macy. I'm here as I've been at 114th in Amsterdam. I'm outside of campus. And right now, from on 114th between Broadway and Amsterdam, about 50 cops just spilled out onto the intersection that had been barricaded off. They're now getting into a sort of formation here. They're all facing away from me right now towards the other side of the intersection from where I am at, where there has been a very large gathering of people that have been blocking some NYPD trucks. This is right by the Mount Sinai Morningside sort of hospital. And yeah, again, this is a very large group of cops, about 50 cops, all in formation facing this other side of the street. From what I can see, I think they're trying to just sort of move people away from this area to let
the fuck is this?
Through, which they're doing successfully. So I'm not sure actually what this formation is here for, but we're going to monitor it closely and move away if we have to.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate that update. And I just also wanted to quote an article from the Washington Post, because once again, I think that the angle that we had a really hard time getting because of police restriction tonight was that of the police entering Hamilton Hall, though we had plenty of video footage to corroborate what we were saying.
At 044, it appears police dragged someone down the stairs.
Very restricted. But I'm reading an article from the Washington Post right now that says, quote, news footage showed police officers with body armor and riot shields entering the building through a window, which they accessed using a specialized police van with a ramp mounted on its roof. Some officers entered with their guns drawn. So I just wanted to mention that because obviously we did not have reporters that were able to see that, but it has been reported by the Washington Post. And I think that's important to note, especially considering how the university has characterized the events of Hamilton Hall. One thing that I just want to mention, as Ale said,
that's insane.
In her discussion earlier, despite the university's accusations that they believe some of the protesters in Hamilton Hall may not be affiliates, the Columbia campus has been restricted to Columbia University ID holders for 2 weeks now. So anyone that did not have a Columbia ID that was in Hamilton Hall, if that was the case, would have gotten in while that policy was in place. So I know Ale kind of mentioned that that reflects on the security of the university here, but if you want to restate.
Yes, I think, this claim that it was not students in there reflects really poorly on the state of lockdown that the university enforced. You know, and this is of course personal opinion right now, I should say, but as Teddy said, this is a moment that is as
This is literally Israel shit.
important for
it's
us.
just
as
Israel shit. That's all this is.
And so I think.
Hey guys, there's bad actors. There's Hamas. There's literally Hamas amongst the fucking students. That's what they said for a week. Apparently, some of the student organizers are reaching out saying that they entered holding guns and tear gassed the tunnels. They have, guys, we had nothing else we could do. They had Hamas. Hamas was in the buildings. We are one step removed from fucking hitting the Pallywood angle and being like, these students actually, now that we are doing the students brought it upon themselves, these students actually brought the NYPD presence upon themselves. Now that we got the fucking tunnels as well, now that they're flooding the tunnels as well, using guns on fucking students. The one last remaining part of this chapter is to have some dumb fuck on Fox News, possibly Jesse Waters, turn around and be like, did you notice that these students are totally lying about the police brutality that they withstood? I mean, obviously, these cops are basically doing a tickle party. It's great. The NYPD using that fucking IDF training, putting that to good use today. Direct application for them. Thank God.
Media and legal observers have been pushed so far away from the area that there's absolutely zero view of the hall from anywhere else except from students ourselves. Yeah, I will not make a comment on that, but wanted to just share what that is.
Yeah, I'm going to put Maria on now, too, who is back in the studio for a comment.
Yeah, I also want to mention that I was standing outside on Broadway and first 116th and then Broadway and 114th, along with Tanvi, Perry, and then another one of our student journalist colleagues. And we were trying
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I'm seeing another police van being pulled out here at 114th and Broadway. This is the corrections bus full of arrested protesters here. It's unclear exactly where they came from. They're getting a lot of applause and shouting from those in the crowd here. Again, I can't confirm exactly from where they're arrested. Arrests were made at many places on campus tonight, but another corrections bus has left 114th and is heading north on Amsterdam now.
Thank you, Georgia. I appreciate that update. Once again, to all of our field reporters, feel free to interrupt at any time with updates. We will keep our eyes on you. I'm going to turn it back to Maria.
Yeah, thank you. So as earlier I was saying, we were standing on Broadway and 114th Street, and during the hour that we were all trying to just simply cross the street and get to the WKCR studios for a myriad of reasons, but one of the main ones being that all of
as the NYPD storms CCNY and CUNY buildings and Columbia University, never let an opportunity go to waste. Benjamin Netanyahu is potentially gearing up for the Rafah operation. An Israeli clearing operation in the Rafah could begin within the next few days. The IDF indicated on April 30th that 2 divisions are ready for on-the-ground operation into Rafah. As I covered earlier today, Benjamin Netanyahu also said that the Rafah invasion is happening with or without the truce and the hostage negotiations, basically rendering those talks useless, despite the international pressure coming from every Western leader at this point, saying that you cannot invade Rafah. Hamas is considering an Egyptian proposal that offers a year-long ceasefire if Hamas releases at least 20 hostages alive. Here is the Israeli military's 98th and 162nd divisions. This is Manny Fabian, Times of Israel military correspondent. They've been carrying out intensive preparations in recent days for future offensive in the Gaza Strip, including the looming Rafah operation. In a statement, the IDF says that the 2 divisions are working to strengthen readiness for the continuation of the war in the Gaza Strip, and that both had gone over plans for the upcoming operations. The 162nd Division has operated in Gaza for 6 months until last week. It had most recently been tasked with the Netzarim corridor in central Gaza. The 98th Division had spent 4 months operating in southern Gaza's Khan Yunis until it was withdrawn earlier this month. The division commanders have completed the approval of plans for the next missions and are now continuing to increase readiness, the IDF says. The commanders of the divisions and their brigades have also undergone learning sessions in preparation for future operations, the statement says. The IDF says the division's maintenance teams recently patched up all their armored vehicles to increase their readiness for continuous combats. The announcement comes as the IDF is preparing to launch an offensive in Rafah, with reports saying that if a hostage deal with Hamas is not reached within the next few days, the operation will commence. According to this chatter, student radio just confirmed people arrested were all students, opposite of what the outside news is saying about outside agitators being found, and the reason for why the police had to invade being that there were outside agitators in the fucking Hamilton Hall.
People who have seen these students in classrooms, people who have seen them on campus, that have perhaps lived on the same, dormitory floors and so on. I'm sure it brings no joy to students to be reporting on their peers being loaded into NYPD correctional buses. And so, any implication that the occupiers of Hamilton Hall were not students is a serious knock on the students' ability to recognize and see their own peers.
Absolutely. It's very misleading. And I just wanted to mention again that we have now seen our peers being carted away on correction buses twice. So once it was 108 of them. Now we don't have confirmation, but there is a chance that it's an even larger number. Perry, I'm going to hand the mic over to you for now.
Yeah, and I really want to highlight the gravity of the situation. I feel like a deep, sinking feeling in my stomach, but it's not lost on me that Maria and Tomby, how long were you guys out there trying to argue with at least an hour trying to argue to get back? We were across the street on 114th and Broadway, and we can literally see WKCR, the building we're trying to get into, our studio. It's in eyesight. We have all our badges. We could have escorted us right to the building. Tomby and Maria were trying for an hour to get anyone to bring them over. And it's not lost to me that within 5 minutes of me getting there, I was able to talk to someone and then get them to get a police officer to bring all four of us. And not even when we were trying to go over, Tom V and Maria were harassed even more than I was. I got right into the studio, and Tom V and Maria almost were not able to come back here. I don't know what happened. Y'all got caught up on.
Yeah, so essentially there were the barricades on 114th, and Tanvi and I missed the small entrance between the two barricades that would have put us on the side of the street to enter WKCR. And when we tried to go, we walked a little bit past it before when Perry and another student journalist walked through it. And when we realized that we were on the wrong side.
Here, I'm sorry, it's getting very loud here, but there's another NYPD corrections bus being driven out here on Amsterdam. This is the third corrections bus full of what seems to be protesters. Yes, I see protesters inside here. I see lights inside are off, but I can see the silhouette of the
April 30th, 1968, NYPD bus of Hamilton Hall protesters of Columbia University. April 30th, 2024, NYPD bus of Hamilton Hall at Columbia University.
I did at that time.
Look at that.
I reiterate that when David and I were forced to leave campus, we were with a number of specifically press, our student press, and we were forced to leave, and this seemed to be outside.
Here's a video of a cop turning off his body camera.
I don't want to speculate on exactly why that was. They perhaps were just in a different area, but just want to make note of that.
There you go.
Thank you so much for that, Georgia. Leon, go ahead.
Right now. So we saw the
This is important stuff.
Right now,
Guys, red light means that their body cam is on, right?
flags,
I can see as sort of being escorted out. They're not being arrested, but they're being escorted out of campus by Columbia. We're sort of moving. Okay. Well, I'm going back into the post.
That photo said May 22nd on the
They're supposed to
caption,
have
though.
campus. But yeah,
No, I think.
I'm good. But they're trying to like force people out of campus right now. These are people who are not arrested.
No, this is on Tuesday, April 30th, 1968.
Yeah. So they're trying to push everyone off campus right now.
Look at these photos.
We're going. Okay, we're walking.
They busted in.
Yeah, we're going. Okay, school. There we go.
Can I go? I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to interrupt at some point. I'm sorry. I'm in Poulter Hall right now, and they're asking us not to go outside. Police officers asking us not to go outside, or you will get arrested. In Poulter Hall, they're saying again, do not go outside of Poulter Hall, or you'll get arrested. We're being escorted out right now. Provide more updates soon.
Once again, to reiterate, the journalists that are on campus right now for WKCR do not live on campus. So when they are saying do not leave Pulitzer Hall, or you may be disciplined, Pulitzer Hall is just the journalism school building. It's unclear where they are meant to go, if they're allowed to go home, if there are entrances that they are letting people leave through on campus. So we'll keep you posted, but this is pretty important. I'm going to send it over to Ted now.
Thank you, Macy. Again, it's been a pretty quiet night for me. I was kind of shuffling around trying to shelter in place here for a little bit. I ended up in the basement of John Jay, and then we were able to make our way over to our dear friend Elliot's dorm room. He graciously let us inside, but now I've got a really, really, really good view of campus. I'm trying to share with my video. I'm in Hartley Hall right now, directly overseeing Hamilton, and there's still hundreds of police out here. We're seeing riot shields. There are no people inside besides police. They've cleared a lot of this furniture out. It's now just sitting in a large heap on the stairs. Everyone's kind of just looking around, and there's a very large crowd gathered at this window with me. No students are allowed on campus right now, it appears. Everyone is pushed either off campus or into a dorm. So this is kind of an ideal vantage point, I would say, to see what kind of happens here. But we're still seeing, tons of police on campus, front windows to Hamilton smashed. I've been a little bit tapped out for coverage, but kind of a crazy scene I'm overlooking right now. Maybe we can get some more analysis from my video feed back in the studio.
And I just want to say, too, that our journalists that are in Pulitzer Hall are still getting the message that if they leave Pulitzer Hall, they will be arrested. So clearly no accommodations have been made for student journalists, and they appear to be stuck. I think we can adequately say stuck now in Pulitzer Hall, and if they leave, they face arrest. So luckily, they're with a team of incredible journalists over at Pulitzer, and they should be all right, but we'll keep our eye on them. It's a very important update. Leon, does anyone have an update on that?
I can update real quick, Macy. I was going to say, well, for one thing, I was just going around Pulitzer Hall, and then Casey, you said you bounced it? Yeah.
Casey, we can't quite hear you.
Here, take it. Take it.
So I can confirm that I saw an NYPD officer duck his head into Pulitzer Hall, which is the home of journalism, or the journalism school here at Columbia University. And he said, if you come out one more time, you're going to get arrested. And that was directed at, I believe, a number of student journalists and faculty. And then the deans of the journalism school rushed out to respond.
Yes, we have
Police being here doesn't mean we lost. I'll tell you what it means. It means we won in the most glorious way possible. This university offered us an empty deal. We did not concede. We didn't fall for their bribes. We are much more principled than they can ever hope to be. safety risk to
What are they gonna do when the movement grows? When like other students join, are they gonna suspend every single student until it's just like a handful of students who love Israel? Is that what it is? Like, is that what's gonna happen? How the fuck are they gonna fill the endowment coffers? What are they going to do? What are they going to do when other students from other campuses also take notice? What are they going to do when faculty joins? Oh my God. This dog, bro.
tomorrow. You are the people they will be proud of. I need you to be loud. I need you to be mobilized. Disclose, divest. We will not stop. We will not rest. Disclose, divest. We will not stop. We will not rest. Disclose, divest. We will not stop. We will not rest. Disclose, divest. We will not stop. Police being
Farley, stop barking. What? Oh. Do you think they can make an example out of these students? It won't work? Yeah. Fired the faculty and replace them with adjuncts? No, they won't fucking do that. Yeah, they're just gonna... No, they can't do that. You're ridiculous. You're out of your fucking mind. There's no way. There's so much strength in numbers, dude. They can't do shit. They absolutely will do that. No, they won't. Yeah, okay. The most prestigious elite institutions in the United States of America, perhaps globally, are not going to fire their fucking tenured Ivy League professors and replace them with adjunct professors who are also most likely not going to fucking participate. They would have to absolutely gut through. I mean, this is all dependent on whether people back down from these unjustifiable actions that Columbia is taking, or if they push further.
$20 north of Columbia right now. Miguel, thank you. Stand by for a moment, if you will. Joey Jackson, our legal analyst, is here. Joey, we talk about dozens and dozens of arrests. What happens to these people on the buses? What does it mean to be put under arrest for tonight and for the next several days?
Yeah, I think, John, the prosecutor here, Alvin Bragg, has a decision to make. And what that decision is what he's going to do. Is there going to be a distinction between students? And if so, do you criminalize this, or do you offer them some resolution to the case which respects their right to protest, but again, you know, has some semblance of law that has to be mixed into it? And do you distinguish the students from the non-students, right? How they got onto the campus, what specifically did they do? Were they peaceful? And so...
Bro, this is literally all the shit that your children will learn in history books in the future. Okay? If there is a future to begin with. If we haven't completely perished by that point, this is the type of shit that you already learn about in your history books as moments of shame from the past. It is insane to me that, I mean, the irony is ridiculous. The irony is ridiculous, especially when you consider that Hamilton Hall is the exact same fucking building that the students occupied in 1968, and the police brutalized them on April 30th, 1968. About 50 people were taken into custody at Columbia University so far tonight. Police used flashbangs, but not tear gas, per the NYPD. Student radio states that police have begun to leave.
You have a lot of paid agitators, professional agitators in here, too, and I see it all over. And, you know, when you see signs and they're all identical, that means they're being paid by us.
My favorite dumb guy, dude.
You know, these aren't hand-painted signs where people would go to their basement and paint something because they really believed it. These are all signs that are identical. They're made by the same printer. And, you know, when you see that, that means there's somebody at top that's paying or a group that's paying, and they're doing great. Well, I really think you have a lot of paid agitators, professional agitators in here, too, and I see it all over.
Crowd cheers on the NYPD bus filled with Columbia protesters leaving campus. Like, does she think that these are students who are like celebrating finally that like other students have gotten arrested, or are they cheering on the students for their bravery? Like, there's no way this person legitimately thinks that they're cheering on the NYPD, right? Yeah, per WKCR, NYPD is threatening journalism school students, professors, and even the dean with arrest if they leave Pulitzer Hall. The delicious irony. Brett's coverage on this is low-key funny as hell. Some type of special dwarf police officer guards a cop bus brought to take Columbia students to jail. Meanwhile, let's take a look at what the brilliant, bold, brave liberals, who are definitely very progressive and always on the right side of history, have to say on MSNBC while all this is happening.
What we have seen on the videos so far is actually the most organized and calmest and most professional police intervention we've ever seen on a college campus. And what we have seen on the videos...
Yeah, they beat the fuck out of those students, but so professionally. God damn, son. When they were brutalizing those fucking disgusting little anti-genocide students, I hate that. I hate those guys. But the cops, they were so beautiful. They were hot. The most humane, violent apprehensions that have ever happened. Yeah, this is the video humane. Guys, look at that. Look at how humane the NYPD is. Yet another example of history repeating itself. The DNC will be held in Chicago this year. Yeah, I'm bringing Chief Keef back to Chicago with me. Fuck Rahm Emanuel. He can stay in the Japans. That's right. More examples of the humane treatment. Tactical team, along with NYPD's emergency service unit and other officers of the strategic response group, have breached the first floor of Hamilton Hall at Columbia University. Guys, just imagine, excuse me, sweetie, but imagine if Trump was president, okay? Imagine if Trump was president. The genocide in Gaza would be going extra hard, and students would certainly be still brutalized for protesting against it. but the ratings will be much better. Just saying. Guys, Trump would never. I mean, sorry, Biden would never. Fuck, I fucked it up. Biden would never in a blue state, in a blue city, in one of the most progressive fucking institutions of higher learning in the country. Joe Biden, the Democratic president, would never in a million years allow. Enjoy Trump. Enjoy Trump, sweaty. Enjoy Trump. What are you, Aaron Rupar? Yeah, I'm trying to fucking... Kyle Kalinske with a good take about all these annoying chirpers. Iraq war protesters were smeared and hated in the moment. Same with the Vietnam War protesters. Today, with anybody with a functioning brain realized they were 100% correct and the conventional wisdom was dead wrong. The fact that these people don't see this is exactly what's happening now is astonishing. It's not because they don't see it. I mean, many people that are just simply watching the news don't see it because they're fucking stupid and they believe unconditionally everything that the media tells them, which, by the way, of course they're supposed to. What are they, some kind of fucking freak? Obviously, of course they're going to look at the media, and without any kind of fucking critical media literacy, any kind of fucking critical thinking skills, they're going to be like, yeah, no, this makes total sense to me. Because it's not like there's a multi-billion-dollar fucking media apparatus specifically designed to make people docile, to make people think like, oh no, this is definitely a complex issue. They make so much money for this purpose, so that your parents and your grandparents feel a certain type of way when unimaginable atrocities are being committed. Okay? Shut up, Hasan. You love listening to yourself, you dumb fuck. The world doesn't... Another... Hate to see it, folks. Another October 7 chatter that returns only to say, shut up, Hasan. You love listening to yourself. You self-observed. The world revolves around me, ass dumb fuck. That's right. There it is. Another member of the community that has been here since 2021 left after October 7 only to return today to be like, you fucking suck, dude. I hate you. No positions whatsoever. No points. No grievances addressed. What? My mom is texting me saying the protesters were throwing frozen water bottles at the police. Is this another media lie? Dude, I don't fucking know, but I don't think so. Here, I unbanned you, by the way. Because unlike the Columbia University or the American state, I'm not going to immediately destroy your free speech. It's worth it to us because your bitch ass only hiding behind this screen. What dumbass throws frozen water at a man with a gun? Yeah, bro, you're slow as fuck, pretty much. It's worth it to us because your bitch ass only hiding behind. This dude need to be offed. Bro. Man, terrorism really looks different here. Students are dumb as fuck. This is regressive. Brother, you're demanding that someone else come and kill me from behind a computer screen. My name and face is public. Like, yep. That tracks. That tracks. Oh my God. How is this dipshit still on Twitch? Dude is a piece of trash. Damn, brother. How'd you go from being a fucking another active community member? Why is D not on Twitch? I don't know, brother. Maybe because his fucking community is a toxic shithole of weirdos like this that love terrorizing every fucking content creator on a regular basis, even though he's not on Twitch. Perhaps that is probably part of the reason. The fuck do you mean? Because he got banned for saying unhinged shit on a regular basis. And his fan base is filled to the brim with toxic piles of shit. But again, it is wild to demand someone fucking kills me behind a screen while simultaneously looking like this behind the screen and being like, dude, you're only behind the screen. Bitch, I go to the protests. You know what my face looks like. We coolin', son, he said. Go back to the dude who loves saying the N-word, okay? You don't have to be here. Go watch him. Why is his content so fucking boring that you have to literally come here all the goddamn time? I can smell this photo, dude. Holy shit. What did that guy say? Respect. Update from NYU. Crush one campus, another rises for Gaza, for Hind. They try to crush the student movement and we still rise. Tense return to NYU. Gaza solidarity encampment as Columbia and CCNY face brutal NYPD violence. We disrupt, we destabilize, we rise. For our siblings in Gaza, for our siblings uptown. United for Palestine. Your biggest fans? No, my biggest fans are you guys. My biggest fans are those who fucking still go out there and actually protest. Those who still go out there and organize. These guys will never be important in this community. They'll just chirp and be forgotten about. That's it. The real fear that they feel every day that they will never leave a mark on this planet is what motivates them into being such fucking edgy, nihilistic shitheads. That's it. They're sad, pathetic fucking losers who have nothing to look forward to. So they try to draw everyone down. They try to fucking drag every single person around them in their immediate vicinity. And that's why their fucking circle gets smaller and smaller year over year. And they desperately try to do that online. And unfortunately, because of the anonymity online, they can do that. They can do that to some degree of success. But ultimately, it doesn't work. Okay? That's it. Columbia is limiting access to his 1968 incident page. Columbia's webpage discussing its regret for calling in police to arrest students in 1968 is displaying a warning about limited access due to NYPD on campus arresting students. Nice. It's pretty funny. Columbia is a far different place today than it was in the spring of 1968 when protesters took over the university buildings amid discontent about the Vietnam War, racism, and the university's proposed expansion into Morningside Park. After a week-long standoff, the NYPD stormed the campus and arrested more than 700 people. The fallout dogged Columbia for years. If you're so proud of your face, why are you using a pic from 1996? Jesus Christ. Also, Judith Miller, free speech. Fucking First Amendment activist. Why do all your haters look like this? You know, Brandon is fucked when the third wheel from the Pod Johns thinks this isn't great. Yeah. You can't be losing the Pod Johns, dude. It's an election year. What are you doing? That's a very important constituency. Crazy combo, no disrespect. Cooney staff solidarity letter. CUNY professors staff support the encampment at CCNY. In 1968, Columbia students held a dean hostage for 24 hours and the police didn't show up until a week later. We used to be a proper country. Dean Harry Coleman giving his "Can I Leave" speech. These students didn't even hold hostage the fucking the 3 janitors, man. They let him leave. Wait, what are they doing? Oh, is this inside of the... Is it inside of Hamilton Hall? Bro, is that guy... Does he have a blicky on him? What's happening? Oh my God. Wait. What is this? Pictured men line up outside of John Fetterman's wife's house while he was committed for depression. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh God. That gave me a fucking stroke. Holy shit. I know they wish they were on subway duty. Listen. You don't understand, okay? You think these guys are not doing a great job? Angry Bird ain't gonna play himself, big dog, okay? Sitting around looking at TikToks. Thick Latina talk. While I wait for the next 14-year-old fair hopper to beat the shit out of. You understand? You think this shit's easy? Not Angry Bird, Candy Crush, whatever. These pig fucks had to stand in one spot all night for no reason, and the Knicks lost. Maybe the first question should be, why are the universities invested in anything to the degree that they are? A hedge fund with a college attached serves nobody but the malefactors of great wealth. Tired, divest from Israel. Wired, divest from everything else. Inspired, take away the tax subsidies for endowments. Bro, this chatter is correct. Okay? They were like, listen, if you survived a school shooting, or maybe you're jealous that your friends survived a school shooting, right? And they then came to Columbia University. Here is the NYPD wonderfully helping you relive that experience with your own taxpayer dime. A lot of you guys are thinking, how unacceptable is this? But in reality, this is a wonderful experience for so many of the students who are maybe thinking like, oh, dude, what the fuck? How come all the cool kids survive school shootings at their schools and I never got to? Think about it. Here's a little bit of government subsidized terror for you. Exactly. A lot of them were, a lot of them couldn't do their school shootings specifically because COVID kind of cooked a lot of American students from that wonderful American experience. It's like a coming of age for many American children is when somebody enters the building that you're in, the learning environment that you're in with fucking weapons and threatens you and threatens your safety. Just saying. It's called silver linings. We know the theme of tomorrow's news analysis already. Won't stop implying on CNN. Anderson Cooper won't stop implying that the occupying halls aren't students. He's not disclosing and explaining what this is based on. That's awesome. Thank you, Anderson.
They clear the protesters, and then they reestablish themselves the next day or the following day. So that's something that they are going to make sure doesn't happen. John?
Miguel Marquez just outside Columbia University, where police say it's done. The campus has been cleared. Hamilton Hall has been cleared. The encampment has been cleared. No injuries, the police say. Much more ahead. Our specialized...
No injuries to the police. Last night we toasted to a free press, to an informed citizenry, and to an America where freedom and democracy endure. Yeah. No injuries. I mean, we launched a fucking student down the stairs, but he wasn't injured. It's fine. Here's another good take from CNN, unintentionally.
And police clearly getting ready to go in. I've covered lots of this sort of stuff around the world, and I've never seen this many police moving into one area.
Okay, let's talk about the shot we're now. Hey, Miguel, the shot we're seeing now. Where is this?
Anderson's like, hey, can you shut the fuck up, please? Can you shut the fuck up? Can you shut the fuck up and start talking about how these guys are terrorists and stuff? Can you give me the good shit that I need to hear? Okay, excuse me. What do you mean you haven't seen this? It's called They Deserved It, the students. They deserve a 9/11 times 2, actually. If I could do that to the Columbia protesters, I would do it. I, Anderson Cooper, would do it. The more I hear that fucking asshole's coverage on the student protesters, the more I understand why there was that meta of him like specifically wearing an IDF sweatshirt all the time, apparently, to the gym. Where the fuck did I hear that from? Where was that? Anderson Vanderbilt Cooper. Anderson CIA internship Cooper. Always relevant. When I was a secretary in an architecture firm, Anderson Cooper was a client and he would often wear an IDF sweatshirt. What the fuck are you talking about? Anderson Cooper has an important point here. Yeah, no, he's so right. He's so right. He's always right, dude. At the top of the hour, there is a 3-minute ad break, and Anderson is right to fucking recognize it. And you know what? Many of you who are unsubscribed are gonna fucking see that ad. Unless you subscribe for $5 or for free. If you don't want to see the ads, you gotta subscribe. That's it.
Property has now been cleared. Hundreds of officers on Columbia's campus tonight after the university asked them to clear out pro-Palestinian protesters who had set up an encampment and taken over a building.
10 people no longer see ads at the top of the hour.
And loaded onto buses. Columbia University putting out a statement reading in part, quote, "We believe the group that broke into and occupied the building is led by individuals who are not affiliated with the university."
Oh,
the decision to reach out to the NYPD was in response to the actions of the protesters, not the cause they are championing. Early Tuesday, protesters...
How much you want to bet they're going to say all the suspended students are technically unaffiliated with campus? Even though some of them literally were being suspended as they were inside of that fucking, inside of Hamilton Hall. As the student journalists reported on, for the past 2 weeks, the campus has been completely shut off. Access from anyone and everyone that does not have a Columbia student ID, an active Columbia student ID.
And the presence was just so enormous. You know, early in the night, we started seeing the arrival of the surge teams from the NYPD, the strategic response teams. And that's when you really knew something was about to go down
Goes,
here.
thank you for the 10 gifted.
And it was just stunning to see the amount of officers that started just descending on the campus, onto the area around the campus. And there were, you know, hundreds of officers that started moving in, and then more units started moving in. And then really the most serious action and some of the most heavily armed, some of the most tactical officers from the NYPD started arriving here on the Amsterdam side of the campus outside of Hamilton Hall to enter the building. It's clear that they had been planning for this since probably early this morning when things took a significant turn after several of the protesters stormed Hamilton Hall, got inside. The NYPD, you almost feel, you get a sense that the entire day was spent planning this, just when you look at the enormous response. And so the emergency services officers responded here. And then we saw that heavily armed vehicle, it's called a Bearcat, and they went up against Hamilton Hall, going inside, dozens of officers climbing up on the truck and going through the window into Hamilton Hall, where they went room by room, clearing the hall, clearing the area, making several arrests, clearing the campus. They actually let some of the people on the campus, they told them to leave.
What the fuck?
Some voluntarily left. Dozens of others were arrested. And just a short time ago, it all just came to an end. Many of those officers who went in.
It didn't come to an end. Columbia University demanded or said to the NYPD that they need to stick around until May 17th. So no, it actually didn't come to an end at all. As a matter of fact, it came to the opposite situation, where now they are going to have permanent police presence on fucking campus. I just can't understand how all of this is happening when the police have been so egregiously defunded. So odd
I
to
have
me.
never seen a response like this, a mobilization like this, the way the NYPD came in with such force, with such precision. And it's clear, you know, in part, this was to send a message, in part to protect themselves. Something very
Dude,
significant
look at this fucking
happened
boomer.
here. It seems that they probably got
this fucking boomer, bro. We thought we fucking shot someone. Breaking. NYPD officer at Columbia University texting, thought we fucking shot someone while on campus outside of Hind Hall. Hind Hall. Bro can't see. He's old. Old ass pig. Look at that large ass text, dude. Unk watch. Bro's texting. This is like when those fucking old racists get caught on an airplane. You know what I'm talking about? When like old ass racists will be like typing in fucking 54-point font and they'll be like, there's blacks around me. And then like everyone is like, dude, we can see what you're typing on your fucking phone. Wow, they never use those. Sal, they straight up breached the what? They straight up breached the building. Then SRG, CRT. CRT! Wait! CRT on college campuses. DEI. Hold on now. CRT on college campuses, not on my watch. What? I swear, what? I swear not mad. I saw org not mad. What the fuck? Oh. I saw SRG not ESU. Good thing that this cop with very obvious brain damage you can't fucking see has a gun. As the NYPD Strategic Response Group leads the crackdown in Colombia, I'm reminded how the SRG was originally pitched as an elite counter-terror unit that would stop ICE attacks. 9 years on, and they're primarily used to spy and arrest protesters and clear out homeless camps. For those of you who are wondering why the media is so pro-cop, this is their job. The media's job and the cops' job is to protect the interests of capital. Okay, that's it. The media's job is to normalize the violence that you experience and make you feel like it's actually totally permissible that a bunch of fucking 48-year-olds with weapons just storm through a private Ivy League institution to beat the shit out of fucking 18-year-old protesters for saying, hey, I don't think my tuition dollars should go to fucking Israel doing a genocide. Like, that's it. That's the whole job of the media, is to basically tell your dumb fucking parents and your dumbass grandparents that, like, that's totally valid, actually. And they usually do a pretty good job. The difference now, however, is that with the invention of the phone camera and social media, it becomes much harder to just kind of keep a good grasp on that. You know, it becomes much harder to manufacture consent when we can just see what you're doing, and you have motherfuckers who are like, excuse me, that's ridiculous. That's actually kind of ridiculous that you did that. That's why there's a massive difference in opinion with people who watch people like myself, people who watch fucking TikToks, versus people who get all of their information from Anderson Cooper. I've shown you time and time again that Since October 7, every violent action that was documented on camera that Israel was committing, every atrocity, was immediately in real time contextualized by CNN. They would have an IDF guy show up with his big fat fucking head like Jonathan Concuncrius or whatever, that fucking Frankenstein's monster looking piece of shit. He'd be like, yes, these are terror babies. You are seeing Anderson Cooper. You are seeing the babies of terror. We are fighting against darkness. Okay? Why do you think that was the case? Well, there was a deliberate media effort to try to manufacture consent, to try to massage the narrative, to try to contextualize all matter of violence that Israel was doing to the Palestinian civilian population. But of course, with social media, this has become basically impossible. The dam is broken.
People who live in the dorms here at the university, and they're able to sort of just stand out on the windowsills themselves and watch everything going on. But while it is done on the inside, it's certainly not done on the outside. Just a short time ago here at 113th, protesters are gathering. They're yelling at police, and police are still trying to control the situation outside of campus. You can see all the people across Amsterdam Avenue. They have set up an enormous cordon around the university here. Broadway is shut down both directions from 113 to 120th. Amsterdam is also shut down. So both sides, both avenues.
Remember, we aren't very smart as a population. We like to think that we are, but we're not. And those who are seemingly the most educated still obviously heavily rely on mainstream media. Now, I rely on mainstream media as well. I think it's very important for it to exist. I will never knock journalism in general. But I also have at least a little bit of media literacy. To the best of my ability, this is what I try to teach others as well on this broadcast. I look at the same exact things that they're looking at, but of course, I try to parse through that propaganda as best as I can. Many people don't do that. Many people are like, yeah, this is exactly what the fuck I trust. This is what they're telling me. I have no reason to think that CNN is going to lie to me or massage the narrative. And it's basically little by little every single day. If you rely on CNN unconditionally without ever questioning what you're seeing with your own two fucking eyes, you're inevitably going to start believing in the narrative that they're portraying, that these students for the past week were actually really violently and virulently anti-Semitic. Jewish counter-protesters, Zionist counter-protesters were Jewish, and they were all scared because of the virulent anti-Semitism that they'd fucking heard. You know what I mean? Jewish students kept hearing about how scary and how violent and how virulently anti-Semitic these student protesters were. And if you don't actually see the student protests, and the media rarely ever shows them, and when they do, they're certainly not showing them in a fucking good light, ultimately, you're gonna agree with what they're saying. They've been demanding police brutality non-fucking stop for the past 2 weeks. They're like, we gotta Kent State these fuckers. Pack watch. Get these 18-year-old shitheads out of here. Your parents are going to see these news. Your parents are going to be watching this and developing that framework. That's why I think it's good that we do this kind of real-time coverage and try to show you a different perspective, oftentimes directly from the students themselves. Like this entire time, I've been relying on the CUAD students, the campus organizers to offer me insight into what's going on inside of Hamilton Hall. You know, and I'm doing that specifically to reframe the conversation. I'm doing that specifically to show you what is actually going on that is unvarnished and unfiltered. Crazy because they went from calling Tom Cotton a psycho to agreeing with him basically like within a week or so. Yeah. And then people engage in the cycle of debate because everyone wants to remain like everyone wants to behave like they are the smartest guy in the room. So then they'll start debating you. They'll start saying stuff like, well, why did they break property if they didn't want fucking police to come through? To which your question should be, how much property did the police fucking destroy in an effort to apprehend these student protesters? What do you think is worse? One window being broken or 1,000 windows fucking being broken and hundreds of student protesters getting fucking violently and brutally arrested for the crime of doing what exactly? That's right. The crime of fucking wanting to divest from Israel's apartheid mechanisms. They broke every fucking door. That's what the cops did. They broke every goddamn door. So if you genuinely cared about the harm being done to the fucking property in and of itself, which you of course don't, there is no, this is ridiculous. It would be absolutely unimaginable. And all of that was done with taxpayer dimes too. Your parents fucking paid for that. My biggest difference between most members of like most white Western, supposedly social democratic and like, self-avowed liberals and leftists alike, my biggest deviation from them oftentimes is on American foreign policy. And this is, unsurprisingly to many, the one issue where liberals and Republicans, conservatives alike, are completely aligned. It's not an accident that what you hear from CNN is not all that different from what you hear from Fox News. Sure, Fox News is a little bit more racist, but ultimately CNN, MSNBC, they all were championing, brutalizing these protesters, brutalizing these pro-Palestinian protesters. These protests were a failure? No, they weren't. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. This kind of defeatist, dumbass mentality is just so fucking annoying. Mad respect. Pull a Finkelstein more often. He's a gaming frog. Do not ban. No, I'm not going to ban them. I just like... My mom thinks they're obnoxious. I'm sorry, chatter. Your mom is kind of fucking obnoxious then. What the fuck do you mean? That's ridiculous. She protested Vietnam. That's awesome. Yeah, your mom is the quintessential fucking boomer, dude. That's awesome. I agree with you. No, the protests are not a failure. But also, to be fair, your mom, it's unsurprising that your mom who protested against Vietnam now has this hardline reactionary stance against people who are doing the modern version of that. That's just how it goes. It's up to you to try to convince her, to explain to her that what these guys are doing is identical to what she did in college. MSNBC, man. Yeah, fuck MSNBC. MSNBC can suck my dick. MSNBC's job is to defend Joe Biden unconditionally. The war in Vietnam was unjustified, though. Yeah, you're right. Israel's genocide, on the other hand, is perfectly justified. Thank you. The more this community grows, or the more this community goes back to like the 30K concurrent viewership, the more you will see a lot of October 7 leavers coming back to chirp. It's okay. Welcome back. Okay? Welcome back. It's great to have you here. I hope I can once again convince you it's all right. That dude has been a hater since 2018, though, so I doubt it. I think that's just a straight up Destiny dick rider. But regardless, History will vindicate me.
Weapons,
and all
because
of you,
they knew they
you
were
have been on
dealing
the
with
right
kids.
side of
They
history.
knew they were dealing with protesters. They knew they were likely to be unarmed, but they also knew that the possibility was that they might meet some kind of resistance, as they'd seen in earlier protests.
You know, John, we're seeing some footage from earlier tonight and also some live footage of people who are on the streets. And just, we are learning that the university has been asking for the NYPD to maintain some level of presence through at least even May 17th. I mean, shortly it will be May 1st, but that's at least almost a 3-week period at that point in time to have additional police presence. What would that look like in terms of the amount of police that would be present? It can't possibly be the numbers we're talking about here and we're seeing from tonight, but what would that look like?
So that's going to be a judgment call about what that would look like. So first of all, let's say why. What does it mean? What it means is that a few hundred police officers came up to clear the kids who were, and both students and non-students, who were camped out on that piece of ground. And then when that operation was over, life resumed, and they came back and they recamped out. So at this point, the college, Columbia University, has made the decision, if we're going to retake that ground for the second time, when we retake it, we have to have a program to hold it, because we have graduation coming up in just a couple of weeks, and we don't want to have to keep doing this either to that ground or the buildings. So the police can do a minimal presence there, which is they can put jersey barriers, not jersey barriers, they can put the bicycle barriers around that piece of land. They can have some limited access, controlled access, or no access as they prepare to set up for graduation.
You think all of this is good? Like this is the only way to deal with it? My way or the highway? We're just going to increasingly stress out students. We're going to fuck up graduation. That's crazy. Like furthering the crackdown, further stifling free speech on college campuses with the brutal arm of the state. Ridiculous shit, dude. All so that Columbia does not divest and continues funding Israel's genocide. That's awesome. Wonder how many people engaged in fair hopping while these cops were fucking busy doing this shit. Arrest happening at City College's police attempt to clear sidewalk in front of college gates. NYPD is raiding Cooney right now.
No. I'm right next to the encampment. Police officers are not currently dispatching the encampment. I got your umbrella. Oh, yeah. The cops are not dismantling the encampment. Here's the encampment right now. I'm live, CCY campus. I'm live. I'm inside the barricades. Again, nobody can get into CCNY, nobody can get onto the campus.
Your
Not
tweets
students,
today
not
have
faculty,
attracted the
not
attention of the
anybody
most
with any reason to
psychotic
be there.
freaks I've ever
Maybe
seen.
except for
It's
police officers
insane.
and security can get onto
Do like I do. I don't even look at the
CCNY's campus right
replies.
now.
Or duke it out
I'm
with them in
live,
the
I'm
replies. I
inside,
don't really
I'm at the
care.
barricade, I'm inside
But
the barricades.
I usually don't even look at the replies on my tweets.
Of what's going on inside the encampment. 50
They're
arrests.
filthy little freaks, dude. Little perverts. They're like, yeah, I love seeing students being fucking brutalized. Ooh, it's my favorite.
Numbers are not confirmed, though.
No, the cops are just working class people doing their jobs. No need to hate on working people. No, I will hate on fucking the cops.
Some more information about that?
No, thank you.
I don't know if there's any other.
You should post a video where you cry about
There
it.
was a lot of press around earlier. I don't
Current
think
hostages
there's
of
anyone
Hamas
that
terrorists from
has
October 7.
a press badge.
We cannot use the library or any resources.
It's bullshit.
We cannot use any. Just
Talking to
now,
press out here.
push from both sides. There were NYPD behind us and SWAT in front of us.
Oh, they locked in medics and journalists at Columbia John Jay.
NYPD operations at Columbia destroyed a bus stop.
And the SWAT was coming at us as if we were.
Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. All right. What is Aaron Rupar posting about? Beware of nihilism masquerading as leftism. There's a lot of that going on right now. Genuinely, I never believed that my college would ever do this to their students. Call me naive, but I truly did believe that the college would never showcase so much hate and violence towards students who they accepted to do the exact thing they are now being brutalized for right now. Meanwhile, this is what he was retweeting while Columbia was being raided. Yes, let's go straight to fascism then. That's the ticket. Wait, what? Bro, I don't understand. They literally are doing fascism. Like, you can't be like, oh, the other side is going to be worse while you're doing the bad thing. You're demonstrating to people why a vote for you doesn't fucking matter. A vote for...
The building, you see that's the Butler Library. And the West Lawn, where everything really began and popped off at Columbia here almost 2 weeks ago. You see the tents are still up from the original
What's up, naivety?
that Columbia had.
Thank you for being out there, brother.
To be cleared on Monday. Behind it, there's bleachers already set up for graduation. That's coming up in about 2 weeks, as we've been saying. But it's eerie, Laura. It is so quiet on campus. There is basically not a soul. It's just NYPD. It is. You can hear a pin drop in this campus right now, as you can imagine. And I heard Shimon's description of how precisely the NYPD worked with Columbia to get people out and clear campus. They have done an excellent job at that because there's not a soul. You can see students up in the residences.
I see that behind.
Dude, that's not American logic. It's also Israel logic. It's just fascist logic. The chatter that said, American logic, let's do preemptive violence because we fear that there might be violence from the students. That's exactly what every power center does. My mom just texted me and shared her outrage stating that these entitled little shits should just leave if they hate this country so much and said, you literally are a Republican now. And I said, you literally are a Republican now. Yeah. So many people are just like straight up right wing as hell.
School has really stood up for all of us affiliated with the school and brought us back in. I was not expecting to be let in, but as the school somehow negotiated that with the NYPD and were escorted back in. Everyone is kind of in shock that this is happening at our school, and I'm speaking here as a student as well. I mean, I didn't expect this to happen in my school. Obviously, we saw the escalation over the past few days. It had to lead to something. So we knew this was coming, but it's still shocking. And it's still very jarring to see, to hear. And this is basically, I'm sharing a little bit more.
All right.
Get through a little bit. This has been basically a bunker.
We're seeing some images too, Julia, as you're showing us. We're also seeing images from earlier tonight, as well as of the officers going in and out of Hamilton Hall, and to the point you were just raising about what the students are thinking. And I want to get right back to you, but I want to bring in Jonas Dew, who's editor-in-chief of the Columbia Sundial and a junior at Columbia University. You're on campus right now. I was just talking to my colleague about what she was seeing in the vantage point from even the journalism school, having a little bit of trouble with her audio, but you're on campus right now. What can you see?
So I am on campus property. I am actually in a friend's dormitory building, but this dorm is not actually within the campus gates. And so what has happened is that all of today, even Columbia students that live in housing, we couldn't access campus if we didn't live in a couple specific dorms that are within the gates. So as a journalist, I was out on 114th Street trying to photograph the police, trying to photograph where they were coming in and bringing the protesters out. And so in preparation for that, what the police did was they pushed basically everyone on the street into the nearest building and made us remain there. I'm not sure if that restriction is still in place. I believe it is, which is why I've just been in this building the whole time. And, we actually went up to the roof, to one of the upper levels, and we could see sort of onto the street. We could see the buses. They had like 5 or 6 police buses, massive police buses coming in. We saw them bring out the protesters. There were massive protests going on Amsterdam Avenue, and they were, jeering as the police were bringing the protesters out. We saw a couple protesters try to obstruct the road, sit down, make it hard for the police officers, and the police, took care of that. We saw a woman who was,
I'm not going to cover the Kendrick Lamar diss tonight, and I'm also not going to play The Walking Dead tonight. We obviously did 9 hours and 30 minutes of coverage because shit popped off at Columbia University. I apologize for everybody who wanted me to finish The Walking Dead tonight. I will do that tomorrow. I promise. Okay. I promise. I apologize.
Population, but are you getting a sense from your peers and your fellow students?
I'm tired, man.
That those who were arrested recently are students or from outside the institution?
Well, it's really hard to say, but there has to be some level of student involvement. At the end of the day, you need students. Well, even though campus has been locked down to Columbia ID holders, now there have been ways of getting non-affiliates into campus. But for the most part, you need Columbia IDs. You need students to provide you with IDs so that you can get into campus. I think there is evidence that there is sort of outside organizations behind the planning of the occupation, but there certainly are numerous students who were inside Hamilton Hall. And last night, as I was reporting on the barricade and on the occupation, I recognized many Columbia students in the crowd that was forming the human chains around the entrances to Hamilton Hall. So this is, at the end of the day, it's still a student-fueled movement. It wouldn't have gotten sort of to the extent it has gotten without the involvement of the student organizations here.
It's an important point. I mean, I wonder, are you getting communication from the university? I mean, are you guys getting emails? Are you getting phone alerts? How are you being communicated with the university? I'm assuming, we in the media obviously knew about the request that was being made. It was public. It'd be a request made to NYPD. When were you first informed as a student body that it was happening? And what has been the communication since?
It's been virtually radio silence from the university, which is actually very shocking. And so what we have received are, during the day, they told us there's, an illegal occupation of Hamilton Hall, students might face expulsion, all of that. And then, in the evening, as the NYPD, they were gathering around campus, we got a text message alert and an email saying that there was a shelter-in-place order and that we needed to stay in our dorms and not go out onto campus or not explore the area. No specifics.
I feel like he's trying to say that SJP is an outside org, but that is made of students. CNN wants him to say something else. Yeah, CNN wants to hear that like Hamas is there and he's like not eating the bait, but he's like dancing around it as best as possible, trying to be like, listen, like, you know, no matter what, it has to be student involved. She's like, why do you say that? Say that it's Hamas. Say that it's the son of Hamas, except this time it's one of the bad sons of Hamas. And the father of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, he's there. Say Ismail Haniyeh is at the protest. Anyway. All right, that's it for me, chat. I'm sorry. I love you all. I'm tired. I got to hang out with my dad and my bro. By the way, I got no warnings. A Barnard student. Columbia has purposely left Barnard students out of all Columbia communications. Of course. Everybody be safe. Okay, it's been a long day today. I love you all. And to all, I wish a good night